Hi, I'm Robin,
And I'm Christen,
and we're back with part 2 of Dark and Wild.
because I got a little too excited and I talked too much. So we had to split it into 2 episodes. So welcome back
Welcome back.
and enjoy.
Yes.
Am.
Cypher 3.
Oh crap, we went right into that one. Oh no. Okay, Cypher Part 3.
Part 3.
Now, where do I even begin? Because coming from being a hardcore Eminem fan,
Mm-hmm.
Marshall Mathers, I love you. Hardcore Eminem fan, and then hearing this track and just being so lost because I was like, Eminem speaks Korean now? Hold on.
I didn't hear that one before. Okay, go ahead.
I was sitting there wondering how this could possibly be BTS. Because how could, especially if the only thing you knew was Dynamite and like the intro to Butter?
Yeah.
Actually, I had never heard those songs in their entirety at that point. So
At the point of hearing
hearing this song,
okay.
yeah. At the point of hearing this song, I only heard like the beginning of these songs. I'm fact checking myself. Hold on. I'm pretty sure that that's accurate. If I had heard one of the songs played all the way through, it was probably Dynamite, and it was background music. So I noticed the beginning. It was pointed out like, oh, this is a K-pop group from Korea.
Was that
okay?
J-List?
Yeah,
okay.
That's my niece's playlist, and it was I wasn't paying attention. I started a conversation with my sister, or we were talking about something, or maybe I got on my phone. I don't recall, but it wasn't something that I was like, oh, I definitely want to hear the rest of this.
Mm-hmm.
Although now that I look back at it, I'm like, why didn't I? That song is a bop. But when I heard Cypher Part 3, and I'm sitting there like, there's no way. There's no way. And I remember looking it up because I didn't believe the post that I saw that literally said BTS Cypher 3 killer, like BTS. And I'm just like, no. The has to stand for something like behind the scenes of Cypher 3. And then they're going to surprise me with who the actual artist is. Right. And I Googled, I read so much, and I was just like, okay.
It came back.
I was like, all right, I will check out this album.
Yeah.
And yeah, I cannot say enough great things about this song. But I will say the lyricism. The lyricism by the 3 rappers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And this is featuring Supreme Boy, who I think is one of their producers. And he's also like, he does the chorus. Very talented. But yes, you get the first verse is RM. And I love that he breaks it up and he's rapping in one pace and then switches back. And it's the first time I heard it, I was like, wait, is that 2 different people? I didn't know how many people were on this track when I first heard it. And when I found out it was only 3, and I was like, what? No, there has to be more. Like there's more rappers. No, just the 3 of them. And J-Hope's verse was amazing, but close it with Sugar. Close it with Sugar. And I feel like that's strategic. I feel like it's strategic when they place him at the end. When you hear him at the end of a rap song, I feel like it's going to be lethal. And they were just like, yeah, we're just gonna like punch, knockout.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter who opens it, in my opinion, at this point in my dumbfounded state of mind. I could go back later and be like, oh God, that was a stupid thing to say. But right now I'm saying, like, whether you start with J-Hope or you start with RM, if you end with Sugar, somebody's career ended.
Somebody's going down for the count.
Somebody's career ended at the end of that song with his verse. Somebody's whole mentality is just in shambles. Somebody's perception of themselves is now being reconsidered.
Wow.
Because when he's at the end of a track like that, he's coming for your throat and then like future generations' throats. Like he's taking y'all out down the line. Like there's no coming back from that. There's no coming back from that. And I know there are a couple of lines in that verse that I would love to like hone in on and talk about, but we're family friendly.
We can't do that.
I have nieces and a nephew who are probably gonna at some point listen to this podcast. So I cannot get into the lyrics, but like if you know, you know. I was dumbfounded when I'm so dumbfounded.
I know that's your word. Like, word of the day.
Stupefied. That's my next one. No, I just remember sitting there. We were both sitting there when we were watching the lyric video.
Yes.
And I think we both had the same reaction. It was like if we had on pearls,
yes,
we would be clutching.
Yeah, we would be clutching.
We would have been clutched because we were just like, I remember you asked me to pause it.
Yeah.
You asked me to pause it, and you're like, did he just? And I said, I think he did. I think he did.
Yeah. I heard we listened to 1 and 2 or 2. This is 3. So
no, this is 4.
This is 4. A part 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other ones didn't strike me like this one. It struck me.
The other Cyphers?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is why I feel like that's why they titled it Killer.
Yeah.
Because
you have
really... to. I mean, I will say, and I said this in the last episode, the second one on School Love Affair was good, was really good, and it's my second favorite. Yeah, second favorite. But this one is it is an assassination. It's a massacre.
Yeah, it's a
massacre. Yeah,
it really this just breaking down and listen to each one, because I could hear, I don't know, maybe more of their style, the difference in their rap. I heard it more.
Yeah, their flow styles.
Yeah, in this than the others, but it was a killer. It is a killer. It is a killer. It's definitely a killer.
I feel like if Eminem is searching for people to collaborate with on a track, please call them.
I was going to say, give them a call.
Please call them, because first off, the insane, I mean, Eminem has really hardcore fans that are loyal to him, and then BTS has insanely loyal fans. I feel like a collaboration would break half the world. Maybe. Yeah, I feel like we would all just be sitting there in a state of shock, because how are we supposed to go on after that? But that track would be, it would be so good. It would be so good. To hear, especially when you think about the speeds that they rap, like RM and Suga, I think, are within the top 5, if not the top 3 fastest Korean rappers. And then Eminem is, I think, rated the fastest English speaking rapper.
I think you've told me that before.
So
way back.
I feel like you're not going to be able to understand anything that's being said because it's going by so fast. There's going to be so many words. I remember you talking about the length of the page when I translated. That's going to be like half a book.
Yeah.
That song, because they're going to be able to say so much so fast in like such a short amount of time. And they each have lists of people that they're just ready to put in their place. Now Eminem's done, and they both done it. They both, BTS and Eminem, have put their haters in their place. But I feel like new haters keep popping up. Maybe not to the level that they might deserve a diss track, but I feel like if you gave them some time to like work on a diss track. It doesn't even have to be a diss track, but I feel like it would be way intense if it was. But yeah, like in the list of things I pray for, that collaboration is on there.
Oh, yeah. And we'll just leave it there.
No, actually, I do have one more thing to say because
then we'll just pick it back up.
I have heard that they've retired the Cyphers, meaning they will no longer perform them. And
they won't perform
them. Yeah, they won't perform them. Okay. So I think the last time they performed this one was in at the Busan Yet to Come show, if I recall correctly, being told. And I'll never get to see that live. And I feel like I'm very emotional about that.
Is there a reason?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know what the reason is. I don't know, but I think I stopped caring when they were like, yeah, never again. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Wait. So all I have are videos on the internet to experience this. Oh,
thank God.
But that's why I think I pray so hard for a collaboration, because then I can like two birds, one stone. I can get a really awesome like Cypher out of them and get to see him, because that's another person I've never seen. And by the time I had adult money that I could responsibly spend on this kind of stuff, because the first half of getting adult money is trying to figure out why do I have all these bills to pay.
Yeah.
And then once you
people
get
coming up,
like, why are you calling me? I don't even know you. And I owe you how much? Yeah. So after I got to a point where I was like, okay, I have money to spend on things that I enjoy without sacrificing responsibility. Eminem was not touring. No. He was not touring, and even when he did drop albums, he wasn't dropping tour dates. There were no shows. And I know that he's sprung up a couple of times at various shows, either his own like small intimate show or like surprise guests. I think mostly surprise guests. They're all in Detroit. I'm not in Detroit. So like how am I going to know about this? They're surprises. I don't know. So I have not seen him live. So yes, just give me a collaboration with those two, those three, and then him. And then I could just get it all at once. Yeah. And then I probably don't have to do anything for myself for the rest of my life. I'll be set.
You think so?
No. No, realistically, I will still continue to
you really think so?
Purchase on BTS stuff, as long as they give me stuff to purchase. So that's that. I guess we could drop it now. I think we're done. Yeah, we'll leave it there. I'm so sorry that I've spoken so much about this, but like, oh my God, this was the one. I think I warned everyone.
Yes, you did.
I think I warned y'all.
Yes, you did. I mean, I think at the end of our last album, you like,
I've got so much to say.
Dark and Wild.
Dark and Wild. Like I said, I had so much to say.
Yeah. We just said we were going to speak about could you turn off your cell phone as the anthem. It was our thought that it was the anthem of this one.
Yeah, because we had a conversation about that, because I said I made the mistake of saying that every album has an anthem, and now I have to find it.
She has to find it. Yes.
So this album didn't give me a clear anthem, because in my mind, anthem is an intense an intense beat with a message. And for me, I felt like Could You Please Turn Off Your Cell Phone had the message, but the beat, there were other songs that had a more intense beat that were like attention grabbing. But overall, I think we had an extensive conversation about this one too. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, we were confident and we were comfortable with that decision.
Right. Yeah, I think so too, because it's just from this point prior and since then, it has been, you know, a handheld thing, you know, that you kept with you all the time, and looking at it and you know, responding to it and waiting for it to respond back. Just turn it off. Let's talk to each other. Let's
I feel like in the messaging, we're not supposed to get too much into this one because this is an honorable mention, but here we are having a full-on conversation.
Sure.
Okay. When you think about what they're saying in this message, in the song, it resonates then, now, and 10 years from now. I feel like people are going to be so consumed by their phones that they're not going to know how to be present in the moment with other people. And I've noticed that when it comes to even my relationships with people, I start to question, like, oh, do they still care about me? Do they, you know, if I hadn't spoken to them in a certain amount of time and then I kind of pop back in, is it going to be something that's like give me attitude because it's been a while, or you know what? And I realized that these people, like all of my friends and even some family, like we don't know how to talk to each other in person. We don't know how to talk. If we're not responding to people, like commenting on their posts or liking their posts, what else is there? And I feel like the song is really, really strongly saying, like, hey, we're losing touch with humanity because of these phones. So just put it down and be present.
I had a family member say that there's nothing new to catch up on because it's already been posted.
Yes, exactly. Like
so you sit down to talk to somebody and it's like, hey, what's going on? It was already posted. It was
like everything that I've got to update you on, you already liked and commented.
Right. And if not, then you know you've at least seen, perhaps, but it's just, you know. So yeah, it's relevant.
It is relevant. Yeah,
it's relevant.
All right, next one.
24/7 equals 7.
24/7 equals 7. Okay, this song is. I want to mention, and I apologize because her username, her handle is not coming to mind right now, but she had left a comment on another video that we had done, talking about, oh gosh, what song was it? I think it was Coffee.
Oh
yeah, talking about coffee and how it was made for Black women. And she said coffee and just one day, and then there's others. And I responded asking her to go more into it because I wanted to know what others she was talking about, because I had a feeling this one was one of them. 24/7 equals heaven. I want to have that conversation. So if you remember commenting on our video on TikTok about there being songs that were like made for us Black women, I would like to know beyond that. I want more of that conversation because I strongly feel that this was on the list that you had, and I was waiting for you to respond and tell me yes, but you didn't. So like, I need to know, are we on the same brain length? Are we thinking the same thing?
Yeah.
Because this song just, it's so soulful and it's so R&B. So R&B. And I just feel like there is a demographic that was in mind. Not saying that they're not appealing to the others. They are.
Yeah.
They are. But again, when you think about that love of hip hop and where hip hop comes from, they're really kind of stating like, hey, we understand that because we do this type of music, there's a certain audience that's going to be listening for us. And we want you to know we see you. And I felt seen.
Yeah.
I felt seen. Did you feel seen?
I felt the one thing I felt though mostly is that it was the anticipation of seeing your person.
Yes.
And the joy and excitement and the butterflies and the things you experience.
So you're going into the lyrics right now.
Yes,
I was just talking about the style of the music.
I know, but when you have that thought, and that's what I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you feel those things, and you know, sometimes you forget that you felt those things, and this song kind of brings you back. Like, yeah, I did feel that tickle.
It's the butterflies and the puppy love.
Yeah, and the
The newness,
excitement,
yeah, the
yeah, the
newness
newness,
of it.
and this, and when you're sitting there, and I don't know if you guys realize you do this or even caught yourself doing this, but either in a room by yourself or in a room with others, when you have that thought of your person and you just smile out of nowhere and go, yeah, that's my person.
That's my person.
It's something different. So those are the things I felt. But yes, in answer,
Well, no,
everything was
going
great.
into the lyrics, yeah, we do. I mean, they did a really good job of conveying that anticipation, that excitement, the giddiness, the not being able to sleep, the whole day being basically shot because all you can focus on is tomorrow, that next day when you see them.
Yeah.
Yes, I do agree with you on the lyrics, and that you forget about that newness, that excitement that you get in the very beginning.
Yeah.
But it's so nice. It's crazy when you're in it and you're just like, oh. You don't even realize. Yeah, you don't even realize how giddy you get. Yeah. But yeah, that when you have that person that makes you feel those feelings and then you see them, it's like just like the weight being lifted off of you. You're at peace. Everything is perfect, and time does not go slow enough. Because you want to spend so much time with that person. And I feel like that this song is like the prelude to Just One Day from the last album, because I feel like you get that anticipation of being with your person, and then it's the next day and you have that one day, and you're just like, this is everything we're going to do because I want to spend the entire 24 hours with you. Yeah. I do like the song, the lyrics, the message, the feelings they invoke, and the sound. Yeah, the style.
Yeah. You know what I also thought about, and I don't know if I should say it, but I'm gonna say it. And it's kind of opposite of what the lyrics are talking about, but it kind of gives me the thought of them when they're together, now that they're starting to come back, soon. Not all of them, but soon, when everybody gets
2 more months.
Yes, when everybody begins to get their discharge. Yeah. 24/7 equals 7. When they were, I guess, together in training and all that stuff there, and they were like together 24/7, and they talk about the fun that they had and the joy that they had when they were like that. Even so much so that now that they've kind of branched off into their own, everybody has their own place and stuff. They talk about how much they miss each other, and wanting to do things, to kind of come back together and hit up and just spend time with and I thought so I was like, yeah, that was their little 24/7 equal heaven, but it has nothing to do with the song. It was just my mind.
No, it was
me.
I
it was
feel like
dumbfoundedness. I'll use your word. I'll use your word today.
But the fact that you are now dumbfounded. No, I can agree with that. I feel like love isn't always romantic. I mean, the love that they have for each other is insane. They're family. Yeah, they are family. Yeah, and family. I remember I think I was watching a compilation of like BTS things BTS have said, or funny BTS moments or something, and it was an interview where they had asked the group, I think it was a deserted island sort of situation, or 24 hours without something and no food or no friends or no something else. And Jin said no friends, and he said, I don't have any friends anyway. And the way that the members all like, what? Like the way they were shocked, they're like, hold on, we spent how many years together? You don't have friends? But I feel like in Jin's defense, he doesn't see them as friends. Right. Also, I know in their culture, there's the hierarchy of the ages and stuff like that. And he is the oldest. He's the only one in that year that he was born. So technically, everybody is beneath him. They're not on a friend level. So if you look at it at that aspect, and then the fact that they are family at this point, yes, I will defend that. I mean, I feel like his explanation could have been like, you guys are my brothers,
Right,
and they would
yeah.
have felt a different way about
Yeah.
it. He gave a response that was funny. It gave us all the laughs, but still, I feel like that's probably where he was coming from. It wasn't that he didn't think he fit in with the group, or he didn't think they loved him in any, they loved him as much as they love each other. I feel like he just looked at it as, these are my brothers. This is my
Yeah.
family. So
Yes, I agree with that.
outside of them, like, I could go without those friends, but like, I've got them,
Yeah.
and I'm good. You didn't
Yeah.
say I had to sacrifice them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
everybody else I can do without for 24 hours or however long it was. I don't remember what it was, but that was what came to my mind right now. So I feel like, yeah, this song, you could talk about the anticipation, especially now that they're all, approaching their discharge.
Discharge dates.
And I feel like they probably do have those moments where they're like, man, I can't wait to see my brothers. I can't wait to get back in the studio. I can't wait to do things. I can't wait to see Army.
Yes.
I feel like we're just as much as we're excited to see them, I feel like they're also very excited to see us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Now this one is mine.
Okay. No, it's not. It's not just yours. But I'll let you have it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say right now.
I took too many.
Mine.
I took too many.
It's mine.
Go on.
Look here. Look here. Look here gives me that soulful, funky R&B jam.
It is. It is
jam.
a jam. It is.
That's what it is. We talked about how it kind of gives you the mindset of the,
not the mindset. It's
not
the
much mindset, right?
It's the beat.
Yeah, it's
the beat in the rhythm of it, the style of music that
the rhythm section. That's what the style
reminds
of music
you of
blurred lines.
Blurred lines, yes.
Lines, yeah.
And the reason why I have to specify the beats, because I'm not a fan of that song's lyrics.
Yeah, no, yeah, it wasn't there.
That song was in hot water for so long.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people that were like, I feel very uncomfortable about this song.
Yeah, it was. It's the rhythm section.
But it was gonna get you up and dance.
Yes, yes.
So that's why I feel like it did as well as it did, because it was getting you up out of your seat and dancing.
Yeah.
But this song, yes, the same type of formula when it comes to getting you up and getting you moving, getting your body moving.
And the groove.
The groove. It has the groove.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember hearing it.
Not that. You're right.
I remember hearing it and being like, yes, there is a similarity there.
Yes.
In the groove aspect.
Right.
So
groove.
yes, it does.
Everything else is, but this just a groove, and it was because even when I hear it, I move.
Because you can't help it.
Well, not hear it like it's on the radio, but when it's in my head,
because you can't help it. Because you can't help it.
Yeah.
You have to. It's such a good song. You said radio.
I did say radio.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
She aged herself, and I wasn't going to point it out, but she did. So now we can laugh about it. Yeah, not the radio. Like, what year is it, woman?
Yeah.
But no, I get what you mean. There are so many times where I hear a song and I'm just like in my head, and I'm just like, and then I'm like, there's nobody else that can hear this. So.
So let me stop.
Yeah, and it's fine when I'm by myself, but when other people are around, like, I gotta reel that in.
That's that song. That's that song.
What I will say this is that when you hear this song, do not reel yourself in. Let yourself go.
Yes.
Enjoy it, because they made it for you to move.
Yeah.
They made it for you to get down with all of your bad selves.
Yeah.
I cannot say enough positive things about this album and the musicality in this album and the thought that I know they put into curating this love letter to hip hop and R&B and doing it justice. They did it such justice, and
and the music.
Here.
The music is good. It's good all the way through.
Was that the last one? Or do we have one?
We have the outro and the
that we were supposed to talk about.
Yeah. No. Yes.
Look Here was the last one.
Yes. Okay. Look Here was the last one.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. Were there any other thoughts on this album that you had.
The music was really good on this album.
Music was so good.
Really good on this album.
This one took you for a ride, but like the good kind of ride. The ride where you got the top down and you're just jamming. You're just jamming to the music. I want a convertible and in PCH. I want
all the way.
Yeah.
All the way.
Huh?
All the way.
All the way. Yeah.
All the way.
Like I want to ride with this music at full blast.
This is that album.
It's such a good album.
This is that album.
It's such a good album. Please, if you have not listened to this album, do yourself a favor. Not even for us.
Yeah.
Not even for us. Just do yourself that favor and just play it.
Mm-hmm.
Just play it. And you'll have some moments where you're like, oh, okay. If you're not familiar with BTS, you'll probably be very surprised by some of these songs, and in a good way. And you may end up joining us, joining Army, and becoming just as big of a fan as we are. But yeah, even if you only know like the later works or you're only into the solo stuff, like just listen to this album.
Just listen to it.
Because it's been a long time since an entire album has excited me in that way. Like there's always going to be at least one or two tracks on an album that I'll skip. I don't want to skip. Even the interlude that has no words. It's just JK saying one word. And like I'm like, nope, just let it play. Let it play, because at the end of the day it's only like 30 seconds anyway. But you need it. You need to listen to the entire album. You will not be upset about it.
No.
You will not be upset about it.
And get that groove in at the end.
Yeah,
get that groove in.
It's just a masterpiece of an album. And it's not their first, or it is their first full-length album that I would consider a masterpiece. They have more down the line that we get to explore later. But this, I think I'm starting to get like my excitement in, especially now that we've gelled on how we do this podcast and everything. And so I think the nerves are starting to escape me, and now I can be completely unhinged.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I apologize in advance for the character that comes out down the line.
For the person,
but this album brought it. This album brought that character out. I will continue to gush about this album until somebody physically holds me down and tapes my mouth.
Well, she will probably find a way and a reason to bring it up.
only when invited. I'm not the type of person that will just kind of sneak BTS or this album into random conversations. But if you bring it up, like if you ask me, who are you listening to, or what's your favorite song or album, be prepared, because I'm going to come out with this one.
I'm speaking in reference to the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought she was talking about it in real life. Out there in the real world, in reference to the podcast.
I will find, as we continue on.
No, I think I'll do a very good job of sticking to the content.
You will, but there will be.
It'll always be in here.
Yeah, there will be reference. I'm sure, and it's just because that's the one she likes.
This one means so much to me.
Because of. I came in at this time.
You came in during the solo era.
Right, the solo era. Yeah. So there are different, I hold it in because we haven't gotten there yet. But I want to. I really want to.
I know what her Dark and Wild is.
So
we've got some time before we get to it. Yeah. I feel like there's going to be other songs or other albums that might get you excited, like give you like it's appetizer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know exactly what album you're holding out for.
I am, but it's a solo,
but we're gonna talk about solos too.
But it's more than one.
That's part of the plan. I know. I know. She acts like I don't know.
I know. I don't mean to act like she doesn't know. I
know the albums.
I know that.
I know the artists. I know which members. And I know the albums. I know, and you'll know when you see it. But I'm saying, because I know what albums and which artists, I feel like there might be some appetizers for you earlier on in some of their solo songs on different albums.
Oh, okay.
I feel like you'll get a little bit of the listener and the viewer, you'll get a little bit of a teaser or taste of how she'll react when we get to those solo albums. But yes, I do know where your mind is at and what you're holding out for.
Yes,
I know.
Yes.
I know. Yes, I want to know if any of you can guess. I know it's kind of early. We've talked about how we're going to talk about biases and stuff like that, and I actually sent my cousin a text and was like, I have so many questions about biases, and like, how do you claim your ult? Like, how do you know? Because even though there are members that I gravitate towards, I'm OT7. So I'm always going to be for all of them. We are OT7 on this podcast. Yes. Make no mistake. We celebrate and highlight everyone. Everybody. Yes. Everyone. Yeah. We love them all. Yes. But there are some that you gravitate towards. It's natural. It's natural. It's natural. And at this point, I'm like, is it premature? Am I gravitating too quickly? Is it going to be something where I revisit this in a few years and I'm like, oh, wow, why did I ever think? I probably not, but I don't know. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll probably have to do frequent check-ins to see. Yes. But I think we're done.
Yes, we are.
We should be. I think we've been on this for a while. I think we need to get a timer to see how long we are talking. Because I feel like this is
bad idea. Huh?
This is going to be a long episode.
Yeah. Well, this was a long album, and we didn't cover all.
Well, we didn't even cover all the songs. Yeah. But we wanted to. We wanted to.
And yeah, so we're good.
We're good. So we're just gonna say bye now. Bye.